Alright, today we're going to talk about factoring quadratics. So this is going to tie into foiling. It has to do with unfoiling a quadratic. So last week we multiplied binomials together. This week we are going to undo quadratics to get what we multiplied together in the beginning. Alright, so let's start talking about what is factoring. Remember that factors are what multiplies together to get a number. So the factors of 12 would be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and that would be it. Alright, so we can also say things like 3x and 5y are factors of 15xy, meaning if we multiplied them together, we would get this answer. So what we're really going to be talking about today is how we can get the two binomials that we multiplied together that would equal a quadratic. So we're going to start with this and go back to these two things. Okay, so we're determining what factors multiplied together to make the given product. And in this case, it's going to be a quadratic. Alright, so we have a method for doing this. It's called the bottoms up method, and these are the steps. So the first step says we're going to multiply the first and last terms together. So when we say that, we're going to multiply 5 times negative 6. So 5 times negative 6 is equal to negative 30. So our multiply number is negative 30. Alright, then second step, we're going to add or get the add number from the middle term. So this is our add number here. So this is the add, this is the multiply. So our add number is a positive 13. Let's write it over here. Okay? Then we need to determine what two numbers multiplied to get 30 but added to get 13. So let's think. We have 1 and 30. We have 2 and 15. We have 6 and 5. And we have, that's it, right? I feel like I'm leaving one off, but I forget. Oh, I know what I'm doing. 10 and 3. Okay? So, let's look and see which of these could have multiplied to get a negative 30 and added to get a positive 13. Well, 1 plus 30, or 30 plus 1 is 31, but 30 minus 1 is 29, so that doesn't get us anywhere close to 13. 2 and 15, 2 plus 15 is 17, but 15 minus 2 is 13. So let's make that a negative, and let's circle it and see, because that one might work. Alright, 6 and 5 is 11, and 6 minus 5 is 1, so that doesn't work. Now 10 plus 3 is 13, but 10 times a positive 3 does not give you a positive 30, so that one does not work. So our two factors that multiplied to get a negative 30 and added to get a positive 13 are negative 2 and 15. So we're going to write those right here. Negative 2, 15. Okay, so to write those in factored form, remember we're thinking about terms of binomials. It should look like a binomial. So we're going to write x minus 2 and x plus 15. Alright, now, so this was our third step and this was our fourth step. Okay, now we're going to divide both of these numbers by the a value. So our a value, remember, is right here because it's a, b, c. So I'm going to come over here and say, if I have x minus 2, I'm going to divide that by 5. And that's all together. Then I have x plus 15, and I'm going to divide that by 5. Now in this case, the 15 divided by 5, that just comes out to be 3. So we're done there. Okay? Over here, negative 2 divided by 5 is a weird number. It's a decimal number. So instead, what we do is if it does not simplify the fraction, then we take the bottom, meaning the denominator of the fraction, up to in front of the x. So this 5 is going to come up and go in front of the x. So our factor would be 5x minus 2. Okay? So our final answer, which is what we were looking for, is 5x minus 2 and x plus 3. Okay? So, if we were to refoil these together, we should end up with our original quadratic. Okay? So let's work another example to make sure you kind of understand what's going on. Alright, so we're going to factor 6x squared minus 17x plus 10. So first things first, we want to find our multiply number and our add number. Alright, so we're going to do 6 times 10, which is 60. Take our add number, make sure you take the sign of it, it's going to be negative 17. So let's think what multiplies to get 60. We have 10 and 6. We have 30 and 2. We have 1 and 60. We have 5 and 12. Okay? And I'm looking at 5 and 12, and that gets to 17. So I'm thinking that this is probably our answer. Okay? 10 and 6 only gets to 16. 30 and 2 is 28, and that's really far away from 17. 1 and 60 is far away from 17. So, if we have a 5 and a 12, but we want to add it to get a negative 17, both of these numbers are going to have to be negative to get to 17 that's negative. Alright? So, now we have our factors. We're going to write them down. X minus 5, X minus 12. Alright, don't forget, at this point, you're dividing by your A value, which is 6. So, I'm going to divide the 5 by 6. I'm going to divide the 12 by 6. So on this side, that doesn't reduce, so the 6 will come to the front, so it'll be 6x minus 5. On this side, negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2, so it'll be x minus 2. Okay? So this means that these two things multiplied together should get this answer right here, which makes sense because 6 times x is 6x squared. Negative 12 plus a negative 5 is negative 17. Negative 5 times negative 2 is a positive 10. Alright, so that's the bottoms up method. Now what I want you to do as your entrance ticket is try the second example. Alright, so using this example here, I want you to figure out what the multiply number would be, what the add number would be, and what are the factors. Okay, bring that to class on Monday for points towards your daily grade for Monday. Okay, if you have any questions, make sure you rewatch the video, make sure you answer the WSQ and put any questions you have in the answer form. Okay, I'll see you on Monday.